In a previous episode, we explored the phenomenon of UFO sightings near active volcanoes. In that instance, it was this volcano in Iceland. But the real hotspot for such sightings is over here in North America, just south of the Rio Grande. And this latest video caused an internet eruption of its own. January 24th, 2017. It's early evening in the skies over Mexico City. Webcams around the country live stream images of Mexico's national monuments and cultural treasures. But no one ever expected them to capture this. A small light appears to launch from the top of Popocatépetl volcano, known locally as El Popo. But look closely, the light flies closer and closer to the camera, when suddenly, it explodes into a glowing orb and climbs up into the atmosphere. And look at this. The second camera facing El Popo on a different day. What are these glowing orbs we're seeing at different times around the volcano? And are they related? Patty Contreras, Director of Digital Strategy for Webcams de Mexico, says she wasn't even sure what was going on.
My first thought was, what is happening here? This is not a plane, this is not a drone, what is this thing exploding in the sky? Some people say it is evil things flying around, and the other people say something about UFOs.
In fact, Mexico is 7th in the world when it comes to UFO sightings, with several reported near El Popo each year. But why do these unidentified objects seem to be attracted to volcanoes? According to journalist MJ Banias, it may be because UFOs need volcanoes for camouflage and energy.
Some people believe that the UFOs are attracted because of all the heat it emits.
Banias says some believe UFOs are using cracks in the volcano to hide and refuel.
On one side of the volcano is a large vent that often is spewing hot ash and lava. And some people believe this is the point of entry and exit for UFOs. They use the volcano as a sort of base of operations.
From March to May 2021, state cameras over El Popo captured at least 5 instances of lights flashing above the volcano. Are the lights a product of Mother Earth, or are they from Mother someplace else? We turn the footage over to our experts to decide. First, we asked Rich Hoffman to examine the video of the bright light seen over Mexico City. Could it be a real UFO? In this case, Hoffman is skeptical.
The brilliance of this light going over a major city should have yielded all kinds of reports about this huge ball of light. But then you look to see if there's any evidence for any kind of an indication of UFO reports or sightings on that given day, and there are none. It was a big ball of light that came from the volcano, and none of the geologists are talking about it, and none of the people in the city.
So what are we looking at? Hoffman says the location and the light itself yields a clue.
It just so happens that a little bit to the right of that camera, over in the distance, there is Puebla International Airport, where aircraft are supposed to turn on their landing lights when they're below 10,000 feet. They don't use landing lights when they just are landing. They use them when they're also taking off, or if they're also going to be changing their altitude.
By looking at a map of the city and using a little math, Hoffman has more evidence for his theory.
They also did a thing to compute the speed. If it would be coming from the airport, it would be about 6.5 miles away. You put that in terms of the fact that it took 55 seconds before it came just directly above the web camera, and you come up with the fact that it's within about 425 miles per hour, which is typically about the speed of a commercial aircraft. I also used flight radar to be able to see the air traffic coming out of that particular airport. And I was able to actually look at the actual type of aircraft. It's an Airbus 321 that takes off from there that heads over to Cancun.
But what about the video with the floating, glowing orbs? Next, we go to astronomer and video effects designer Mark D'Antonio. Could the objects have come from the volcano itself?
One of the things that I thought about when trying to look at these objects, I was trying to say, are those embers? And the problem is, if they're embers, seem to stay the same brightness for quite a long period of time. And that's the problem I have with it.
What if the camera is simply capturing a light source from the natural world up close, namely the insect variety?
One would think that these could also be fireflies, except that fireflies, they're not like a constant light flying around. They actually flash their light, and then that's it. You see a bright dot followed by a trail, and that's not what we see here. So I don't think they're fireflies at all.
In fact, D'Antonio isn't sure if they're from the natural world at all.
If they're real, they're acting unlike anything I've seen.
Our verdict, we're going with a mixed decision here. While Hoffman makes a solid case for the exploding light being an airplane, we're still not sure what we're seeing in the other video. But one thing is for sure, strange objects near volcanoes appear to be a real phenomenon around the world. So while some strange sightings near El Popo can be explained, we're still on the lookout, and you should be too.